10 craziest footballers on the pitch. Football is a work of art, but not all its performers are masterpieces. The game has seen some wild personalities over the years. You can't screen for craziness. So, it's no surprise some of these players seem better suited for MMA than the beautiful game. Hey, but as long as they have got the skills, they can lace up their boots and hit the pitch. Now, let's introduce you to the top 10 craziest footballers. And if you haven't already, give us a like, subscribe and hit the bell button for more videos. I promise they won't be as wild as these players. Starting off at number 10 is Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger is proof that you do not need to spend so much time in a league before becoming a force to be reckoned with. The German and former Chelsea player was not in England for a long time. However, he was able to cement his place as one of the toughest defenders of his time. Rudiger may not be revered, or should we say feared, because of his ball marking skills or ability to intercept passes, but because he isn't scared to play dirty. Talking about dirty, it seems the German international took some lessons from Luis Suarez, as he has also dug his teeth into the skin of a fellow player. Well, the German is not just dirty when dealing with players directly. He will do anything to ensure that the opposition side fails. This was clearly demonstrated when he attempted to sabotage Mohamed Salah's penalty kick for Liverpool before it was taken. At number 9, Vidal. Sometimes it is difficult to tell who is crazy and who is not on the pitch. However, with Vidal, you do not need to be a psychologist to have an idea how crazy he is, as the Chilean is as crazy as they get. The former Bayern player had been involved in dirty tackles even when he really did not need to play dirty. Additionally, this crazy attitude is not just limited to his time on the pitch. He once smashed a bottle on a man's head at the club and he had to pay a fine of €800,000 for this. At number 8, Lisandro Martinez. Martinez is doing very well as a footballer, but sometimes he plays in a way that makes one doubt if he should really be playing football or involved in a combat sport. Well, he could have been in the army, if not for football. The Argentine sometimes plays like a fighter, and he was probably thinking like a fighter when he elbowed Aston Villa's Bailey not once, but twice. Martinez is obviously a crazy player, but it appears he is just as lucky. The man has a way of getting out of dirty situations without any real punishment. Number 7, Mario Balotelli. Balotelli used to be famous as a prolific striker. However, his reputation as a great striker was second to his fame for always getting in the news for the wrong reason. While some of the crazy players in this video have been able to achieve a lot in the world of football, it appears Balotelli's crazy attitude stood in his way of actual greatness. The crazy ex-Italian international once wore an undershirt with the inscription, "Why always me?" This was perhaps an attempt to blame others for his woes. However, the former Manchester City striker got into a fight with virtually everyone, teammates, opponents, and even match officials, and he just did not seem to care what they thought. At number 6, Pepe. For some reason, the football world only knows Pepe by one name. This is perhaps an attestation to how crazy he is. Talking about crazy, the Portuguese defender is also a genius. However, he seems more comfortable with using his smartness negatively. He is extremely aggressive and has gotten sent off for this a number of times. Just like Ramos, the ex-Madrid star is not someone you want to play against when his team is losing. Some footballers have a screw loose, others have a few screws missing, and then there are these 5 players who are completely nuts. You wouldn't believe number 1. At number 5, there's Aleksandar Mitrovic. If you've watched Alexander Mitrovic play over the years, you might think he's always under the influence on the pitch. But since we don't know what he does in private, we can't say for sure if there's anything actually controlling him. The Serbian striker sometimes behaves like he's hearing voices in his head, but it doesn't seem like they're leading him down the right path. Mitrovic has a lot of power in his big body, but he doesn't seem to know how to channel it properly. That's why he's constantly getting into trouble with ugly tackles and heated arguments with fellow players and referees, resulting in severe punishments for his aggressive behaviour. Coming up on number 4 is Gavi. At first glance, Barcelona's Gavi seems like the perfect player to fill the shoes of legends before him. But don't be fooled by his innocent looks, as he's building a reputation as one of Spain's craziest footballers. In fact, if there was an award for the youngest, craziest player, he'd be a top contender. Gavi was once known only for his skills on the pitch, but after multiple confrontations with other players, he's become Barcelona's resident bad boy. And for some reason, he seems to have a vendetta against Brazilians. He's clashed with Vinicius Jr. and even hit Rodrygo in the neck during one match. We've seen players get yellow cards, red cards, and even black cards. But this player could get a card that doesn't even exist because of his craziness on the pitch. That's Sergio Ramos at number 3. This video will be incomplete without Sergio Ramos in it. Ramos might not be the most clinical defender of his generation or any generation. However, if there is one defender you do not want to mess with, it should be Ramos. Defenders are used to receiving red cards, and this is perhaps just a part of the game. Well, just like other defenders, Ramos has received several red cards. However, you might be shocked to find out that beyond receiving several red cards, if red cards were equal to trophies, Ramos would be the most decorated player on the planet. The former Real Madrid captain has 28 red cards, and this number might go up as his career is still active. Number 2, Granit Xhaka. Xhaka is an Arsenal player, but for some reason, he does not have the same level of calmness that is synonymous with this club. Unlike his team, he has got a clean approach to football. Xhaka is considered the dirtiest player in Europe. Of course, this is not because he doesn't wash his clothes. Rather, he is considered dirty because of his approach to the game. If there is any Arsenal player that will be involved in confrontations and rough tackles, that player is Xhaka. Sometimes the player's aggression makes his opponent scared of him. This might seem nice. However, it is strongly associated with various degrees of punishment, and red cards are not exempted. Well, the man is no stranger to being booked, so it does not seem like he will try to clean up his game even just a little. Finally, at top spot is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan might not be the craziest footballer ever, however, he is one of the craziest of his generation. So, we have saved the number 1 spot for him. Ibrahimovic is one of the best to play the game. However, he is not just famous for his skills, but for his anger and love for confrontations. Believe me when I say that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is the only player on the field with whom you do not want to engage in confrontation. The martial art black belt holder does not hesitate to throw caution into the air when it's time to show some negative emotions. We have lost count of the number of times Zlatan got angry in a match. However, the last time this happened, he ended up slapping another player. Of course, he was sent off. Even his status as a legend of the game couldn't save him. If at this point in his life and career he still fails to control his anger, then he might need the help of professionals. Well, that's if he has not done so already. And that's it, guys. Thanks for going all the way to the end. Which of these players do you think is the craziest? I really want to know what you think in the comment section below. See you in the next video.